intro. Ready?
What Sparta gotta do? What?
All right, and we're here. Your boy Japanese Tutor. Gonna go ahead and do some more opening principles and everything you should know in the opening. Yeah. So I just wanted to give you guys some tips. Oh, thank you, Equanimity. Thanks for coming in. Um, so I jotted down some stuff uh before the stream that I thought would be helpful for anybody who's really starting chess and wants to get better. All right, so control the center. That was my number one thing. Control the center. Okay. Try to get your pieces to attack the center. Take your time. So in online chess, there's this world of blitz where you play 3 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, and you play games, you keep playing games. But blitz doesn't make you better at chess. Blitz pretty much tests your consistency for chess. So just because you win a chess match doesn't mean you're better than the person, it's just you're better at blitz. You're more consistent than that person in the timed match. So really try to develop yourself as a good chess player, and your blitz will go up. Your rating will go up. Um, okay, this is a really nice one to know. Remember, everybody makes mistakes, but don't make the same mistake twice. Very simple. You want to always relax and enjoy the game. Remember, at the end of the day, this is a game. And just like any game, the goal is to have fun, whether you win, lose, or draw. Know the value of the pieces and keep that in mind. Also, not even just knowing the value, but knowing what they're doing. Because even if you have an extra rook, if you can't move it, then it doesn't make sense, right? You can have an extra 5 points, but if it's not employed, then those 5 points are lost. Um, do not touch the pieces on, and this is for over the board. Do not touch your pieces until you're sure what you're gonna do with them and why you're gonna do them, why you're gonna move it there. Uh, Always look at your opponent's last move before moving yourself. So if your opponent makes a move, say, okay, why did he move that piece? And what does it benefit? Why does his structure benefit from that? And then you'll find maybe some other moves that he can play in the future, which you can stop using a technique called prophylaxis. Prophylaxis is basically stopping your opponent's plan before you do your plan. And also, ask yourself, what will they do next? What is their plan? So in chess, it's a battle of ideas, right? My idea versus your idea. So if I can like kind of hinder your idea or make you spend another few moves employing your idea, then I'm pretty much winning, so to say, because I can execute my plan faster. So think to yourself, what do they want to do? Can I stop this? More importantly, should I stop it? Because you're not supposed to be afraid of ghost, right? Don't be afraid of ghost in chess. All right, and those are I think there are 10 tips to get better at chess. All right, so I do want to go over some tactics. And so I have some tactics here. Let's trash all of this. This is a little endgame tactic that everybody should know. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. No, not 2 minutes. 30 seconds to solve this. And you guys can start once you hear the music. White to move. Is there a white king? There's no white king. Okay. White to move and try to win this position, or at least come up with a winning idea. Ready? set. Okay. All right, and you guys have 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. All right. So we're back. And so equanimity says king c3. So I'm going to go over his line. He says the king beats your king to the pawn, but when the king gets there, you play rook b7 check. Okay, okay, that's interesting. So king c3. There's actually a more direct line here, because you know that we want to push, right? So king c3 doesn't really help with that, but I see what you're saying, right? But it seems like their king is a little bit more powerful. So can I'm gonna show you a move which uses what we learned last time. Um, and we'll come over. So watch this. You double click by accident following now. I didn't even get the notification. Oh, I did get it in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, guy in a box inbox. um, all right. So what we want to do is we want to promote this, right? And this rook is behind this rook. So we use the idea that we also know that the king and the rook are on the same line. We learned this in our last lesson. It's called a skewer. So we can use that information. We win. So boom, rook h8, right? Because if okay, what did I get? Okay, guy in the box is not following. Got it. Thank you. Um, so if he captures, then we have check and hello. We're taking it, right? Can't go here. He can't go here. He has to go up, and then we take for free. And now we can win this endgame. Okay. So I'll go over that one more time. Rook over, and if he doesn't take, let's say he plays like king here or something, then we just push. We make a queen, right? Rook takes, and we're still up a rook, right? So pretty simple stuff. Using what we learn. Remember, always use what you learn and get ideas. Do I play viewers? I will play viewers, but at the end of the lesson. So this is a chess lesson. It's free chess lessons, and I'm a chess coach. That's what I do for a living. Um, but I want to make people better. But I will play. I do play viewers. So after the lesson, I'm more than happy to play you guys. All right, great. Let's go here. Here's another one. Here's another key thing that it made me better at chess. Understanding this concept. Understanding that when you have pawns like this, connected pass pawns, if sorry, if they're both on the sixth rank, they're worth a piece. And they're worth the piece that you choose. Worth a queen. They're really, really hard to stop, especially in the end game. So if you can have two connected pass pawns, both reach the sixth rank, you're good to go. You're ready to rock and roll. This is even better if you can manage that. Okay. So I do want to go over some openings, and I'll go over opening for white and an opening for black. Uh, let's reset the board. So let's go over just a normal e4 opening, and I'll tell you what to do in the opening, what you're trying to achieve. So in the opening, you really want to take care of these squares. Now, in some openings, you let them get the center, and then you attack it later. But let's take the center. As black, let me just go here. And as black, if the opponent doesn't take the center immediately, you take the center. Okay. So e4, uh, e5, let's say. This pawn's undefended, right? It's also attacking our center, doing a great job. It develops the bishop and the queen just like we do, right? So, boom, attack the pawn. Remember this rule: knights before bishops. I want you to say that in your head one time. Knights before bishops. You can say it out loud, but the people around you might think you're crazy. All right. So again, for black, knights before bishops. Now there are openings where you play d6, where you play knight f6, and these are totally fine openings. I'm just giving you the principles. You develop your bishop somewhere, right? Here, sorry. Here attacks f7. F7 is the weakest square. It's called the poison pawn. And you want to develop your bishop. So knights before bishops, boom, and then you castle. Super simple chess. And if you do not know what to do in a position, develop a piece. Now, as white, as white, when black offers a gambit is an opening trick to try to get development quicker than white. If black offers you a gambit or offers you a pawn, take it. Make them prove that they have the advantage in the opening. Make them prove that they have something, right? So if they play like something like the Halloween gambit, take it. I think the best move is always just taking. And knight of six, so what? So what? This is a weak pawn. They have to spend time to get that weak pawn, and all the more that we can just develop. We can develop our pieces. And at d5, then we play bishop g3, and we're good. We develop our bishop. Our bishop is coming out. We have a strong pawn. This is a weak square. Whenever, so as white, sorry, as white, whenever black offers you a pawn, take it. Now, as black, if white offers you a pawn, think about it before taking. Sometimes the best course of action is not to take, but you can take. Both are just fine. Taking, and then if the best line is here, and then I think you just play d6. You can also play d5, but yeah, it's up to you. If queen a5, then you have this line here, and this is just fine for white. But you always want to think about developing. How can I develop my pieces? And sorry guys, I just have to cough real quick. Just give me a second. Yeah, that mute button is handy having new thing. Okay, so sorry guys. All right, so an opening that I like to play and that I like to teach is the early fianchetto of the bishop. A fianchetto is where the bishop attacks from the side. The bishop is a long range piece, so why not put it immediately on a long diagonal, right? Although I like to be flexible with my openings. I just say I don't want to give my opponents my plans too early until they commit to something or I see what they're doing, then I can go with my plan. So knight f3. And let's say here, we just develop our pieces now. Right? And then d4. See how black took the center immediately? This is what you should be doing. And I even think that black has a maybe a slight advantage, just by having this. So maybe after knight c6, we should play d4, not allowing him to play e5, right? And this is where we get into thinking. We know that he wants to take the center, so why not just take the center first, right? And then we play bishop c2, and then if bishop f5, then we have a simple plan, simple course of action. We just castle, and then we worry about these pieces. And if you play like this, you will get checkmated in the opening. So there we go. All opening worries are gone. For most beginners, not getting checkmate in the opening is one of the most pressing issues. If you're thinking that he can play here to attack on this, then we can just thwart his plan by playing knight a3, right? So he cannot take because knight. So if knight takes c2, knight takes c2, bishop takes c2, queen takes c2, and we're up 2 points. All right. And now he has to keep developing his pieces. And this is pretty much an even game. We can decide where we want to attack. Remember, our bishop wants to attack on this line. The thing that's stopping it, this pawn. So we can even play like something like this, and maybe play knight a3 to attack it, or maybe play knight d2. Uh, right. Let's say if captures, then I love this position. I would play this position all the time. Knight d5, get this active. Let's say if knight captures d4, then I can capture on b7, right? But what else does he have? I, knight captures e5, I guess. But queen captures d1, queen captures d1, and then knight d5, and then I can play e4. So you know, it's probably his best line. But then knight a3 comes. He has to move the bishop. This bishop is not doing anything. I'm attacking here. I can get my piece to good square. This honestly is a good square for his knight. So granted, that is something. But then it's a game. It's definitely a game. But I like this for myself, and I just feel like I have more control over the position. And maybe I'm gonna play something like this or like this, or maybe bishop here first, right? Maybe knight c6, then maybe bishop here, trade off of bishops, trade off a pair of bishops, or maybe not. Maybe since this bishop is dead, maybe I want to keep the bishops on the board. It's up to you. So I love chess because there's no right answer. There's no one right move, one right plan. Play the plan that works for you. And if that plan didn't work, well, then next time play a new plan, right? And then see what works and see what doesn't. Oh, and sorry, Philum, you followed, and I'm sorry for not getting back to you quicker. Thank you for following. You are now a chess master in training. Okay, so let's go over something for black. But honestly, it's the same thing. Develop your pieces. Let's reset this board. So whatever white plays, you just want to develop your pieces. Knights, and you could probably do the same thing. Let's say they take the center. We can attack the center as well. Maybe they want to take more of the center, and then we can play d5. If takes, then we take with a pawn, not letting him play e4, right? And this is super simple stuff. Let's say they play d3. We can play like bishop f5. We can play c6. I don't know. We can play whatever you want. Bishop f5 developing. We'll develop this piece as well. Let's say they play bishop g3. We can play bishop captures, queen captures, knight c6. Develop all of our pieces. Knight g2 here. One castle. They castle, we castle. Super simple chess. This is an even game. If you develop your pieces, you will not be checkmated. And you have plans, right? One plan, you see right here. We want to get something there. We want to have control over that square. This is a backwards pawn that can't move right now. Or maybe it can, right? we can just take, right? Take. I don't know. That doesn't look good. So the line that I'm looking at is, and then we can play knight b4, right? And d captures e4, queen captures e4, and then rook e8, and right. So super, yeah. Chess is not that hard, is what basically I'm trying to say. All right. So let's say they play e4. We can play a similar thing, or we can play something different. We can attack the center immediately, or we can wait. I like playing the asymmetrical c5 to take care of the dark squares. That's my preferred line of action, but you can honestly play on the light squares. You can play b6. Get your bishop here. This is the Owen defense, and attack on the side. So if d4, then you let them take it. You let them take the center first, and then we're gonna attack. So like let's say they play knight c3, we play e6. We just want this dominance here. Let's say they play knight f3. Then we can just play like bishop b4. Stuff like this. Maybe here, maybe f5 later, but castle first, and then we have a rook on the f file, so we can make a opening. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's play captures first. Captures, and then we can capture here. So that's not good. Let's give him a good move. Say bishop d3. Knight f6 attacking this pawn. Queen a2 defending this pawn. d5 attacking this pawn and making him do something. Um, can I go over the King's Indian defense for black? I like the d6, knight f6, g6, bishop g7, castles. Does d6 work versus e4? Yes. Yes, it does. So I'll go over, yeah, I'll go over it right now. After just this, and so e captures d5, knight captures d5. This is pinned, right? So bishop d2, knight d7, knight captures d5, bishop captures d2. Whatever captures d2, knight can capture on d2, bishop captures d5. This is threatened, so we castle. And this is a totally fine game for both players. His plan is maybe to attack on the queen side. We want to maybe attack in the center, right? Once all of our pieces are done, maybe playing c5 or e5. Okay. Okay, so the King's Indian. So the King's Indian defense. Bam, and we played d6. So this can transpose into the Perk defense or the King's Indian attack. Defense, sorry. d4 usually, and then knight f6. There are many lines here, so I'm just gonna go over one line. So knight c3. Let's say we play g6. This is the main line. Knight f3, bishop g7, uh, bishop g7, I think bishop e2. Okay, let's play bishop e3. Bishop e3 castles. Let's go. I think they play just bishop c4. And no, they don't play bishop c4. They play bishop here. Knight b d7. And so our plan in the King's Indian attack. So our plan is twofold. One, so if the pawn's on c4, we play knight c6, and if they play d5, then we play knight b8 to play here. We want to play either c5 or e5. That is our goal. Our goal is either c5 or e5, whichever one they allow. The reason is this pawn is in the way of our bishop. And if you remember, we were playing the white side of a fianchetto opening. That was our plan, just to play c4, have the bishop open. You know, that bishop is very strong. It cuts the board in half, right? Now if h3, then we just play e5 immediately. Bam. Let's say they play d5. we're gonna either play c6. We can capture on e4, playing here, here, and expanding. If they castle, let's say they castle. Now this bishop is gonna be our strong bishop because this bishop is gonna want to sack itself sometimes on this. We want to break open on this line, and we have a pretty solid structure with no really like structural weakness. So okay, both sides are doing fine, but I'd have to give this position to black right now. It just looks like he's doing more. Like c captures d5, he captures b5, and then knight b6, and then we got some trouble, right? Like it just doesn't seem like white's doing too much. Okay, so you can either play e5 or um, c5. If they play d5, then now our light squared bishop starts attacking, and we can attack their king side, right? And don't worry about your piece getting blocked in, because remember, we can always unleash the bishop by playing f5. And if they take, we take. So awesome. So I'll go back and I'll explain what I'm saying. All right. So if e5 d5, eventually we can just play f5, unleashing this bishop because we can move this pawn. So don't worry about blocking in the bishop temporarily. All right. So I'm gonna show you a couple of opening traps to get you guys started. Um. So if e4, e5, knight f3, this is called the Damiano defense. I don't like it. It's playable, but only if you know how to play it, and even then, it gets into murky waters. So let's see if you guys can get the right move. I like knight captures, but knight captures takes, and what do we play? I'll give the chat 30 seconds. No, I'll give you guys a minute. Get the idea. All right. And just give me a second. So give me the whole line. I'm gonna give you guys another 30 seconds. Give me the whole line. All right. So, see equanimity said if queen h5, so they have two moves here. They have g6 and they have king e7. So we'll go over g6 first. Like you said, takes, takes, queen e7 takes. And what happens now? Oh, you said, okay, queen captures e5, bishop e7 instead. I like queen e7 because it threatens the trade of queens. But if, let's say, black plays something like this, What do you play? Can you find the strongest move? All right. So the strongest move here, it's actually King D1. Now Bishop E2. Okay. So a lot of people don't like moving their king because, oh, I lose my right to castle. But here it's the best move because what's the only line that's open? The E file, right? So if we can move this bishop away, like let's say we're gonna take the knight, right? So say knight here, take the pawn, right? But if we can also harass the queen and get our pieces developed, right? Maybe bishop here, maybe bishop there, you know? We have so many options that actually, like bishop e2 doesn't really afford us, right? And now we kind of have to play a little bit passively, right? And it's not that it's not that favorable, but I mean it is favorable. Like white's winning, obviously, but the best way is just to stop their counterplay. Um, right, exactly. But the also so equanimity says if king d1 because you can if you move your bishop they're gonna take on g2. Although you're winning there, the best thing is maybe you want to play f3 in the future to kick the queen away, move your bishop, then move your rook, and you have an amazing position. All right. So if king e7 takes, right? King f7 is the only move. All right. And what would you guys play? Remember, we sacrificed a piece here. So we have 2 pawns for the piece. So give you guys another 30 seconds. All right. So queen does not have to take actually. So if bishop takes on d5. So first of all, let's say they don't play d5. Well, let's go over this. This is actually a pretty cool line. They play here. Boom, boom. We attack the king. What can attack the king? Hmm. Something that goes forward, but we can't get that active. Maybe something that goes diagonally. But this is blocked by a pawn. Can we move the pawn? Yeah. So let's just move it. Okay. Um, so now the king can't go anywhere, so he has to push the pawn. He could play queen here, but we play queen takes, so that's checkmate. Here, the pawn's defended by the queen and the king. And how do we apply more pressure to this pawn? If you guys can find this, then you can find checkmate. So this is the next example, 20 seconds. All right, so we're gonna play h4, and because h4 we're using the pin that we have here, and we're putting more pressure on it. Remember, pin it and win it, and pressure breaks pike. So we're putting pressure on that line, and no matter what he does, this is a double check, right? Double check. When things in double check, you must move the king. Remember that. Double check, you must move the king. Bam. And then checkmate. All right, so that's it. That's one of the variations. All right, so that's if he doesn't play d5. Now, if he does play d5, then we just take with the bishop. The king only has one square. Then we just play h4, threatening h5. h6, bishop captures b7. Sorry, bishop captures b7. The bishop cannot take because we have queen here, checkmate. Bishop d6. And you can decide what you want to do with this. I like to, you can play queen a5. They can't attack you anymore. You can't play knight c6 because bishop takes. If bishop takes, we have queen checkmate. Kind of sneaky, so knight f6. And then we can just take the rook. And we're winning here. And everybody's happy. Cool. All right. So that's a little opening trap for you guys. Um, the next one, next opening trap, is going to be for black. If you play the Sicilian. So e4, c5, uh, knight f3, knight c6, takes, takes, takes. Oh, this is not good, but white to play, and you win a pawn. How can you win a pawn here? And I'm gonna give you some like really like a secret of mine right now against the French. I hate playing against the French, so I'm gonna teach you guys how to play against the French. Give you a little tidbit on how to play some good chess. Oh, also, if you use any one of my tips, please whisper me, message me on YouTube, um, on Instagram. I try to reply as soon as possible, especially on Instagram because right on my phone. Let me know. I'd be happy to watch your games and look at your games, and maybe we can go over together how to get better. Maybe I can do a segment where I take all of my students' games and I put them online. That'd be pretty fun. Um, does anybody have the answer for this one? How can you win a pawn? Okay, so let's do this. Right, you see that this is here. The king is here. So where do they meet? So they meet here, right? Here. Something can attack from this line. Something can attack from this line. So we always have to look at that kind of stuff. And here, our queen can go there, right? So check. Ooh, hello. Cool guy, 2189. Thank you. Thank you for following. Welcome. You are now a chess master in training. Right? So yeah, queen a5 check. Let's say the bishop moves. Bam. Bishop 2. Boom, right? So maybe not there. Maybe he plays knight c3. Check. Maybe bishop e3, bishop e2, and then d5. If your opponent doesn't take the center, you take the center. Hmm. You can play whatever you want. Bring the queen, so we want to take the center, right? If f4 preventing you from taking the center, uh, I don't know. Maybe here, trying to attack the center again, right? Bishop here, here, castle first, right? Some easy stuff. But as you can see, we have an easy game, just following opening principles. That's a common trap. That happens sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to show you, and this is for the white side, how to play against the French defense. So e4, the French defense is e4, e6. The main plan is that they want to play d5, but they want to play like this. I think the French is a stupid opening. Sorry for you French players out there. I mean, it has awesome things. Like the French is an amazing opening. I just hate playing against it. So I don't play the main line. I play a sideline. I play queen e2. So they can transpose. They can transpose maybe like to Sicilian where I play queen e2 and now it looks kind of stupid, but it's fine. Queen e2, let's say they play d5, which is the main line, and then we take captures on d5. As you can see, our queen is pinning the pawn to the king. So queen takes. And now knight c3. Queen a5 or queen d8. A lot of people play queen d8, and then we play knight f3. So here's a turning point basically. What's gonna happen? Either this, sorry, either this is gonna be bad or this is gonna be bad, and they have to decide. If knight c6, this is a bad piece now. Pretty simple to see. G3. If they play here, then it kind of spells trouble for them. This is very weak, and we can also pressure it. Okay. If bishop g7, as soon as they play bishop g7, the move is knight e5. Because I want to take the light square bishop off the board, because I want to fianchetto my bishop and have no contester. If they do not have their light square bishop, that in turn means that they cannot control the light squares as effectively as I can. Right, so this is some stuff here. If knight c6, then we know this bishop is going to be bad. Right, and how does this bishop move? Can the bishop go there? Maybe not. Maybe I play d4 and I take the center. Get the castle and rook d1, and I'm developed. This bishop is bad. It's behind it. This bishop is going to come to life. Bishop b7 and knight e5 should seal the deal because this is undefended. If queen e8, whatever. We play knight b5, attacking the bishop. Get the bishop pair. The bishop pair can control the squares that in the endgame more effectively than the knights can. So I think we're winning. I think this is at least a pawn advantage, in my eyes. I played this position a lot of times, and with very good results. um, so e6, bishop c5. You played d4. Yeah. So what about knight captures c7, forking the rook and the queen? So that wouldn't work right now because um the bishop is protecting it, right? And the bishop doesn't have to move. But good idea. Um, let's see. And cool guy was saying e6, bishop c5. So hold on. Back in this position, back in the starting position. E6. Oh, so you wouldn't even play that. You play bishop c5. Is that what you're saying, cool guy? Last game when you were playing black. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. When I had the choice of playing e6 and then playing bishop c5, yeah. In that case, I'd rather go for the d6 and play against the weak pawns and the weak center because I can castle play rook e8 and I can attack on that line. Um, but yeah, let me just go over this. Queen d5, queen e2. This is called the Chagorian variation. So if you want to look up more games on this opening, it's called the Chagorian variation. Here, you can also play g3 immediately. If they play knight c6, you can play here. If they play here, obviously we're winning. If they play here, then you can play here. And now this knight is bad. We can even play stuff like bishop h3. But bishop g2 is just fine. Okay. If knight d7, then knight e4. But I don't like moving the same piece twice, so maybe d3 and moving out. And they develop 1, 2 pieces, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're developing a fifth. So white, I think, is much better here. And we have the option to castle. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces unemployed. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, cool guy. All right.